from an early age, growing up with my granddad who had his own upholstery business. In the garage of his house, I would spend, weekends in there with him making buttons and little cushions, little bags. That really influenced us from an early age of making things handmade and giving something a try that you would generally just see in shops. I never thought I could make it. Well, my nana used to do bits and pieces with my granddad when I used to make like snooker bags, like the snooker cues. He would make those bags and my nana would help him make them, and that's where I remember sitting on my nana's knee and she would like teach us to sew, and I thought it was brilliant. But she also did cross stitch, which she taught us to do when I was about 3-year-old. And now that she's passed, I've started using those embroidery threads myself. After leaving art and crafts for quite a while, it's something I went back into during lockdown, and to help us with my own illness as well. Having Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, it's something that can be very debilitating. So when you're cooped up in the house and you can't do much, you can't walk about much, crafting has been like a lifesaver through lockdown, and it's been fab being able to use the bits and pieces of yarn and embroidery threads that were my nana and granddad's. I feel like I'm giving them a new lease of life. Them both just before lockdown, and crafts helped us to cope with that, because it was something like it gives memories of doing that with them, so that really helped the struggle of lockdown. And knowing I had something that was like my nana's, even if it was like offcuts of yarn or whatever, or threads, it's a part of her. I felt like I was crafting with it. So this is the make that I'm entering as part of my application. It's a bag that I made during lockdown. I made it with granny squares using the crochet technique with the hooks, and just simple fabric that I bought from Aldi. But what's special about this to me is that the yarn that I've used with it is actually the yarn that my nana would have used, and I inherited when she passed away, sadly. And it's some of the yarn that she would have used when she was knitting cardigans and things for me when I was only a baby. So that makes it extra special, gives it that extra special touch. And I also think it's important to reuse fabrics and yarns, give them a new lease of life, especially when they're vintage. I follow Kirsty on Twitter, and I'd seen a tweet of hers regarding the passing of the Queen. And it was really strange because I just mentioned to my partner the day before about Kirsty's Handmade Christmas and how I grew up watching it, and I thought she was fab and I'd love to be on the show. So that jogged my memory when I seen this tweet of hers. I'm going to tweet her and ask if they're doing any filming for it, why not? What have I got to lose? And she replied to me, which I was really surprised at, saying, yes, go for it, and had included the email to the production company. And the production company then tweeted me and basically said, the deadline's, Friday at 6 o'clock sort of thing, get your entry in before then. So here we are doing that. And then I think to win, I can't put into words what that would mean to me. Like, to even thought of being on the show itself and applying for it is, a huge thing for me, let alone win something like that. I can't put it into words, but it would be absolutely amazing, and I would dedicate the win to my nana and granddad.